It was quite the whirlwind those 2 years. Next thing I knew it, I'm at an airport in Miami, just gotten a Cuban coffee. And then I started to notice people were wearing masks a lot more than usual at the airport. And the story about the virus seemed to be all of what was on the news. And before I could take a breath, let alone finish writing and making my thesis, the pandemic swept over the country and the world. Everything was canceled. Everything was shut down. Postponed. Halted. Frozen. Frozen. I just kept working. That's all I knew how to do, was to keep making things. So I found myself wandering the roadsides, collecting wildflowers, looking for those stories. A different way to write them down, a different way to tell them. Experimenting with these wildflowers and dye plants, I'd learned a lot in the past couple years. I began applying those processes to printing on paper rather than fabric. And as I kept working, I recorded the results, somewhat of an almanac as I came to think of it. As the pandemic went on, it was clear that there would be no traditional graduation or exhibition. This was a hard reality to face. I had to graduate, so these ethical questions really came into play. Were we doing the right thing? We decided to go to Hartford one last time after quarantining. I would drive. We would put up the show, and it would be available to a limited number of people at a time. Obviously, mask required. We would do as much as we could virtually so that people could still access the work. Again, as time told, we managed to pull it off. And luckily nobody got sick. And we graduated. And then the nomads dispersed.